Haason Reddick. Howie Roseman and the Eagles have done a lot so far this offseason. The draft is still to come. Haason Reddick is still a lingering problem. And it's been a hot topic the last 24 to 36 hours. We're going to talk about it. We're going to try to talk out the best case scenario, what's best for this team, what's best for business. Sixers West Coast trip, Phillies opening day around the corner. Lots to talk about. Trending in the AM's back with your thoughts and opinions live in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We are live. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. You know the drill. Like, share, subscribe, retweet, follow. Wherever you're watching, on whatever platform you're watching, hit those buttons. Help spread the word of the number one morning show in Philadelphia and the only morning show where your opinions actually matter. I don't care about my opinions. We care about your opinions. I set the topics. You tell me what you think. That's what we do here. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel. You can find me on every social media platform, still at Beard A Knowledge. That is where you can find me. And it's important that you're following me on social media platforms. Lots of big things happening and lots of things in the works here. So make sure you're following so you keep up to date in all things beard related. And let me talk to you. Got lots on the agenda that I want to cover today. Eagles have had a very good offseason. The offseason is nowhere near over. We're still about a month out from the draft. But there still is one lingering in-house issue that needs to be dealt with, and that's the Haason Reddick trade/contract extension. So we are going to talk about that today. I want to cover it. What people think we should do or shouldn't do with Haason Reddick. Definitely want to cover that. For some reason, I was online looking at odds for March Madness, and I saw Super Bowl odds. And I know it's so early and you can't really think about this, but I was looking at the Eagles' odds to get back and win the Super Bowl next year, and I want to talk about that. Sixers start a West Coast trip, very important. Very difficult, extremely difficult West Coast trip. We will cover that later in the show and Justin Crosby at 9 a.m. for Sixers Wednesdays. Phillies opening day, 8 days away. Flyers, whatever's on the table. If you want to talk about it, you put it out there. But I want to talk about the Eagles to start, of course. So let me talk to you. What is up, little G? How you doing? Go Birds. Pay Haason. It's a great way to kick it off right here. I think the Eagles, without a doubt, should give Haason Reddick whatever he wants. If it's $25 million and Howie Roseman is stuck on $21 or $22 million, pay that man the money. And there's a real reason why that I feel good about that I feel it's necessary. The Eagles have gone out and spent big money on Saquon Barkley. They've gone out and gotten the pass rusher of the future in Bryce Huff. They've gone out, brought back Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, addressing one of their big needs. They've gone out and gotten another backup quarterback. Like, Howie's had a very good offseason, but most of his moves, especially the top-end moves, equal one thing. The Eagles are all in and trying to win a Super Bowl. Haason Reddick is one of the elite pass rushers in the league. One of the best at getting after the quarterback in the NFL. He is dollar for dollar the best value so far that the Eagles have ever gotten in that position. He's probably the best value at that position across the NFL. Pay the man the money. You got him on a cheap deal to start. He wants a pay raise. And I will have to call out the king, Howard Eskin, idiot, nitwit, extraordinaire, legend that I used to respect. Now he's just a clickbait old curmudgeon out there blasting Haason Reddick because he wants more money. Blasting Haason Reddick for not playing out his contract. Never have any problem when you're cutting players. Like why all of a sudden is Howard Eskin getting mad that a football player wants a renegotiated deal? In what world is that normal? It's one thing if it's baseball. It's one thing if it's basketball. But in football, this is just a regular occurrence. And you got nitwit Howard Eskin out there trash talking Haason Reddick because he wants more money. Nitwit is all I could describe there on Howard Eskin. You do not let Haason Reddick go if you are trying to win the Super Bowl in 2024. Maybe you find it in your heart to trade Josh Sweat. But Haason Reddick, why did we win a Super Bowl in 2017? We had a great defensive line, great offensive line, great defensive line, perfect rotation. You don't make an important position like edge weaker by trading him away if you're trying to win a Super Bowl. And I know they can go out and draft Chop Robinson or Latua or whoever his name is, in the first round. They could do that and replace Haason Reddick. But you're not replacing. You're not replacing Haason Reddick. You're finding a replacement to fill the role, but not many people out there are Haason Reddick level. Got about $22 million in cap space left. Yeah, you got to pay draft picks. Hopefully, you've got to trade for Patrick Surtain and extend him. But what harm would it do for Howie? Just go, all right, Reddick. We were saying 3 years, $62 million. You want 3 years, $75. You know what? If you give me an opt-out after 2 years, well, why not? You're all in. Your window is there. You gave Saquon Barkley basically a 2-year deal. Massive amounts of money for a running back. Because you're trying to put this team over the top. Why are we even talking about Haason Reddick? Eagles draft good. But that doesn't matter. The draft is not, nobody that we drafted 22 or later in this draft is going to be the make or break difference of winning a Super Bowl. Haason Reddick can be that. In 2024, that is. And that's why you keep him. Are you blind? I'm right. You are a weird person. Phil, a Jets fan, was seething Huff left. He is very good. We do have question marks on Bryce Huff. And I brought them up. Keeping Haason Reddick is very important for Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff only played, it's 48% of the snaps last year, maybe 42% of the snaps. It's only his first year of real success. So getting rid of Haason Reddick, who played 78% of the snaps, all 17 games last year, is asking a lot of Bryce Huff. So you put Haason Reddick, you leave Haason Reddick there, you have Bryce Huff, you have Nolan Smith rotating in, maybe you have Josh Sweat. Now you have an elite rotation. You can ease Huff into a little bit more playing time. That is how you build a Super Bowl winner like that. PFF ranks 6, edge, Haason Reddick. And he's probably paid 20th out of edge rushers. I mean, $14 million or whatever it is he's scheduled to make in 2024 is not much for a premier position. There's guys making $25, $30 million. Look, Brian Burns just got 5 years, $150 million from the Giants, $30 million a year or whatever it was. You got Haason Reddick sitting there making $14 million. And there's no reason why any media member or fan should be calling out Haason Reddick for wanting this pay raise. They are, but they shouldn't be. This is just part of the game of football. They don't like it. It's been going on for ages. This is the way football is set up. Non-guaranteed, fully guaranteed contracts. Players can be cut. Players can renegotiate. It is just the way it is in football. Phil got the Eagles Encyclopedia autographed by the great Ray Didinger for me. Absolutely. Reddick and Huff equal super good. But Sweat and Huff, not as super good. Hey, Randall, thank you very much. Everything I said is fine. I was really thinking, I didn't know last night what I wanted to talk about, and I saw the Howard Eskin comments, and it really lit a fire under me about Haason Reddick. But then I started thinking, because I've been joking about how I want Howie Roseman to really go all in and get Patrick Surtain or someone like him. Let's just go. Let's go for it. And you think about the Saquon Barkley contract. It's really just a 2-year, $26 million contract, basically, in a nutshell. That, to me, tells me Howie Roseman thinks that we can win a Super Bowl in either of the next 2 years. You go all in to win a Super Bowl with Saquon Barkley, you might as well pay Haason Reddick as well. Because you are a better team with Reddick than without Reddick. A massively better team with Reddick than without Reddick. Just think about it. Bryce Huff and Reddick, or Bryce Huff and Josh Sweat. What's the scarier starting duo on the outside? So why are we even talking about it? When Howie's got the cap space, there is money to spend. You could hypothetically give Reddick his extension and go get a Patrick Surtain level defensive player, literally be the best team in the NFC, maybe in all of football, and give us the best opportunity to win the Super Bowl. Even with a stellar supporting cast of like-minded pass rushers, Reddick 16 sacks in 2022, or 5 more than the next defender on an Eagles unit. Yeah, absolutely. Reddick is heads and shoulders above everybody on the Eagles. He's head and shoulders above all but maybe 5 or 6 guys in the NFL, period. Why are we talking about JJ Reddick? You never know with me in my mind. Did I say JJ Reddick for real, or are you just making a joke? Because if I said JJ Reddick, that would have been a total typical me slip of the tongue. But I think I said Haason Reddick. But maybe I said JJ. But Chino. Reddick think he's one of the most underrated players in the NFL, and he might be right. His last 3, there's no doubting what Haason Reddick is capable of. None whatsoever. HC. I look like David Cross after the haircut and trim. Why am I drawing a blank on David Cross? Let me pull up Mr. Google here. David Cross. Stand-up comedian David Cross. No, I don't look anything like David Cross. Comedian David Cross? No. That don't look like me. I'm 10 times better looking and way funnier than him. I don't even mean to be funny, but I'm funny. Phil looks like a youthful. Why? Why? Just because you disagree that the Eagles should keep Haason Reddick? Just because you disagree with my time commitment to the Flyers on this show, you're going to say something like that? What's up with that? Come on now. Give me some credit. Come on. Don't compare me to a commie. I'd rather be a Commanders fan than compared to that guy. But anyway. Oh, man. Wrong pipe. I'm still not sure where or why we have to move on from Reddick, or Reddick has to play his last year. Theory and thread comes from the media. This is something that makes minimal sense to me, and I'm having trouble understanding it. I think Howie, we'll just call him Howie. Howie would say it. he says those things just for the clickbait. He's an old grumpy man because your anti-Flyer views are look, my Flyers views are perfectly legit. Next year, I will cover the Flyers in more depth. I have always been a Reddick mark. Yeah, using a little wrestling term there with the mark. Yeah. So if I wanted him 2 years before he got to the Eagles. His second to last year in Arizona, he was unhappy and was on the trade market. Then they kept him. I've been wanting Haason Reddick on the Eagles for a long time. Find a way to keep him. Did the Flyers win after benching their captain? Did they bench their captain? I don't even know. K1, that's not nice. Nick on Twitter saying 2 years, $37 million. Are you saying that for Haason Reddick? That's not going to be enough. He wants $25 million a year right now. I think the Eagles have been around $20 million a year in the extension talks, is what the rumors are. There's no way you're getting Reddick to commit at 2 years, $37 million. Not even close to the right number, Nick, in my opinion. If you want to get him to commit on a 2-year extension, you're probably going to have to go 2 years, 50. You might be able to get him off that $25 million a year number that he wants, reportedly, for 3 or 4 years. You might be able to get him down to 23. But you're going to pay him $25 million, 23 to $25 million a year on a 2 to 3 to 4 year deal. And honestly, at this point, like I said, you're all in already. Saquon Barkley tells me you are all in. Go completely. Don't keep that one chip off to the side. All in is all in. So you might as well do it. Sabres not going to make it. It's too snowy. Okay. Pay the top 5 rusher in the league 2 years, $37 million. It's not enough. I'm sorry, Nick. I don't feel that would get him happy. He's already making $14.5 million this year. What's that? 2. That's 1. One. That's 16. No, 18. That's $18 million. It's not enough. I really don't believe that is enough to keep him happy. Win-win. I mean, it would be a win for the Eagles. It'd be a loss for Haason Reddick. I think if you just straight up cut Haason Reddick, someone would give him north of $20 million a year without a shadow of a doubt. I will say the trade market for him is dried up, and I've been saying for a long time, 3rd round pick is the best you get in a trade. So you either accept the 3rd round pick, which I don't think is worth trading him for, or you find the money to get him paid. You're not getting a 2nd round pick. Rumors are the only team really truly interested right now is Atlanta. They have the money to spend to extend him. They have the draft capital. There are a few other teams. I saw Titans reached out and couldn't get anything done there. Reddick should be kept in Philadelphia. Haason Reddick should be playing in midnight green next year. Flyers won't be true competitors until 26-27. Yeah, I've said this, HC, to K1 many times. When you tell me you're a playoff team this year, but we're not going to be buyers at the deadline, we are selling because this year was not the plan, the future was. It's hard for me to get emotionally invested massively when you're telling your fans we might be good, but I don't care about that right now. Big picture. Coots is greater than Tobias Harris. Mostar. Casey Tuhill. Yeah. He bounced around a lot. I think he played for Washington for a little while. Casey Tuhill. He's just a jag, just a guy that puts on football pads. Maybe too rich for us. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it is. Rumors are that we're right around after all contracts are signed, sitting at about $22 million in cap space. You need about 12 of that for your draft picks, 10 or 12 of that. If you keep where you're at in the draft, so you got about 10 million. You could get a deal done, and Howie's so good with the cap numbers and stuff, and you could keep Haason Reddick on a pretty good deal and still improve this team. Excuse me. That was a loud one. I had to mute the mic actually for that one. Don't let the Reddick talk distract you from the fact that we extended the GOAT with the golden leg, Mr. Chicken Little himself, Jake Elliott. We talked about that the day it happened. Best kicker in football. BKIF. Best kicker in football. BDE. Instead of BDN for Nick Foles, it's BDJ or BDE, whatever you want to call it, for Mr. Elliott. Ice in his veins, that man. Best kicker in football. Best move of the offseason. I don't know if that's the best move of the offseason, but it was a smart one. It's so nice. Like, it's kickers like a closer or a lefty reliever in baseball. Like, it's just so nice to have a position like kicker that's some people consider an inconsequential part of a team, but it's really an important part of the team. And just to have a kicker go out there and you just know 9 times out of 10, you're not worried. He is going to make every extra point. He is going to make almost every single field goal. You don't have to worry about him getting the yips. He is just, without a shadow of a doubt, the best kicker in football. Reddick has messed with his value by not being more demanding with Cardinals and Eagles. Maybe. I don't know. I got to know how much Justin Simmons wants from to still not be on a roster. It's a great question, Jake. Is Justin Simmons overvaluing himself? I still have a little bit of a weird theory on it. It's a hot take. It's a clickbait comment. I'm gonna say it anyway. Vic Fangio has a lot of power on this defense. Howie Roseman likes to be in control. Howie Roseman is having a power play and saying, "I know you want Justin Simmons, but we don't want him. That's why I'm gonna get you. I want to make sure you know, Vic Fangio, I'm in control." It's a little clickbait. A little hot button topic, probably nothing to it, but I'm just going to say that. 2 years, $50 million, $20 million signing bonus. If that's what it takes, Marshawn, you've spent $26 million over the next 2 years on Saquon Barkley. Give that to Haason Reddick. Go out and win a Super Bowl. That's what I'm doing. Alex on Twitter. Milton Williams should start over Jordan Davis. I don't care who's the starter. He should play more snaps than Jordan Davis. I'll tell you that. His extension might come before Devontae Smith's extension. Devontae Smith will get his extension. No doubt about it, in my opinion. But Milton Williams needs one as well. It's more important to lock him up. He doesn't have the fifth-year option of first-rounders, so he's going into the last year of his deal. You get that extension done next. And I think it will come. I'm a huge, huge Milton Williams fan. I don't care if he's the starter or not, but Milton Williams should be playing 60% of the snaps next year on the defensive line. And I think you'd get, at a minimum, equal production than what you got from Fletcher Cox last year, maybe more because he is younger. I'm not saying he's going to be as great as Fletcher Cox, but he could be last year's Fletcher Cox good, for sure. I hope so. No reason to be all in this year. And exactly. Like, this is the thing. Like, at one point I joked on Twitter, like a week and a half ago, maybe the Eagles consider trading both. But I'm thinking, you're all in. You want to win the Super Bowl. Right now, the Eagles' odds to win the Super Bowl are 7 in football. 49ers are the favorites right now after the first week of free agency at plus 550 to win the Super Bowl. Chiefs are at plus 600. These numbers are on DraftKings. Ravens plus 900. Bills, oddly, are 4th at plus 1,100. I don't get that. Lions, 5th at 1,200. Bengals, 1,300. I don't get that. And the Eagles and Cowboys are tied at 1,700. I don't think the Cowboys should be on the same level of the Eagles. I think the Eagles should be ahead of the Bills, Lions, and Bengals, honestly, with the way the offseason's going so far. But if you're going all in, still having the 7th best odds, they're actually really great numbers. If you can get Eagles at plus 1,700 to win the Super Bowl, it's a worthy bet to throw a couple bucks on, honestly, because you can make arguments that they're better than almost every team ahead of them in the odds board. You don't make the moves you've made and then trade one of your elite players or let him walk because of a couple $1 million. You keep him locked in. You give your team the best opportunity to win that Super Bowl. It's not big money. That's Howie's MO. Huge signing bonus, low cap it. Absolutely. And I don't know why more teams don't do it. Honestly, Marshawn. There's not enough teams doing the Howie Roseman style. All safeties overvalue themselves. That is true. Devontae is definitely going to get an extension ASAP. I could see Devontae not getting his extension till training camp. About that. It might drag on. Got to get the draft done, get any of the post-June 1st cuts taken care of, figure out the 2024 roster. You've got the fifth-year option. You want to get them locked up now, but also you've got a little bit of a cushion. Devontae Smith's not going anywhere. But that Judy contract complicates. I don't think the Judy contract complicates anything. He got massively overpaid, 3 years, $51 million or whatever. Jerry Judy is just a guy. He's just a jack. He's terrible. I've been saying it for a while. I don't buy the Jerry Judy hype. Never have. There's two other contracts that you have to look at for the Devontae Smith. You got to look at the Calvin Ridley, 4 years, $92 million, 50 of it guaranteed. You got to look at the Michael Pittman, 3 years, $72 million. If you would have asked anybody before last season who would get paid the most this offseason, Judy, Pittman, or Ridley, everyone would have said Judy except for me. But Ridley and Pittman, they screwed it up. You got to look at his Devontae Smith is going to get at a bare minimum a 4-year, $100 million extension. At a bare minimum. It might be creeping closer to 4 years, $120 million. It really will. And that's going to be the case where maybe in a year or so we might be talking about on this very show moving on from A.J. Brown. Who's more all in than the Cowboys? The Cowboys, have they actually done anything but have guys retire and leave? The Cowboys are a mess, but they still have talent on that team. You got Tad Prescott, brother of Dak, out there running his mouth again. I'm a Dak guy if he was on another team, but man, his brother, man. I'm so glad I'm not famous. My brothers would run their mouths nonstop if I was a famous athlete, and I would have to smack the hell out of them. It'd be totally unacceptable. Josh Allen is very overrated. I don't know about that. He's still very good. The Niners are the best odds to win the Super Bowl. They do. Plus 550. Chiefs plus 600. Ravens 900. I don't get the Bills at 4th at 1100 and Lions 1200, Bengals 1300. I think those numbers are off. I would not bet those numbers. What is up, Duck? How you going? How you going this morning? I hope Smith gets one. I got his jersey in Kelly Green. Probably really sweet looking too. Alex, he will get. You do not have to worry about Devontae Smith going at a bare minimum. If they can't work out an extension, he's here for at least the next 3 years. He's under contract for 2, and then they can franchise tag him after that. So Devontae Smith ain't going nowhere. Just the thing is, you're not under the pressure to get that deal done immediately like a Milton Williams or a Haason Reddick or a trade for a Patrick Surtain, which I'm just going to keep saying. Oh, remember what I said. You guys can pick my head live on the air if Patrick Surtain becomes an Eagle. Why not? Devontae Smith is a top 10 wide receiver. He very well may be already. Top 10 in the NFL, for sure. Thought Steve Smith was going to call Judy just on TV when he had his beef with him. I thought so too. I remember that. Judy is just not that good. I kept being told this excuse, and it's the wide receiver's fault when the quarterback doesn't succeed, saying or LA Chargers, but it's the quarterback's fault when the wide receivers don't succeed in other scenarios. Everybody just thinks Judy on Cleveland is going to be better. Sean Watson ain't going to do nothing for his career. I just don't get it. It will be 120 for Devontae Smith. Very, very likely. Just got to think about it. A.J. Brown got 100, and that was 2 years ago. So with inflation on contracts because of the salary cap, there's a very strong possibility he gets 4 for 120. Somewhere in that. If Calvin Ridley got 50 guaranteed, you got to think Smith's going to get at least 60 guaranteed. At least. And when that contract comes into effect, you're going to have to say goodbye to A.J. Brown, probably. I'm way done vouching for mid Josh Allen. You always want to make it about your guy and not the Eagles. Dak's brother, not even a full Prescott. No, is he only his half brother? I couldn't. He's just a tad. That was not funny. Marshawn. Very cheesy. I think Dak would take most edge teams to the playoff and possibly deep in the playoffs. Dak in a different situation. I would say this, Duck. Maybe now at this point of his career, what is he, like 30, 32 now, Dak? Dak's been in the league for a little while. I've said it before. I wanted the Eagles to draft him when he was coming out of Mississippi State. I saw a more athletic version of Donovan, a better version of Dante Culpepper. They were my comparisons when he was. I used to watch some college football back then, and maybe not now. But if he was on another team, I might own a Dak Prescott jersey. I'm a fan of him, the person. I think he's got potential, but I just think being in Dallas brings a lot of people down. I so want to see my head is close to shaved already, completely shaved. I would have to like turn. Oh, I forgot to turn my backup light on. I would have to turn that light off because it would shine in your face so badly. Um, what is up, Mitchy Poo? Good morning, greetings, salutations. Smitty will sign a 4-year, $120 million contract, $40 million signing bonus, $60 million guaranteed. I'll throw on at the end of it. But signing Haason Reddick doesn't stop that from happening. Think of it this way. Haason Reddick, you're not looking at giving Haason Reddick a 4, 5, 6-year deal. You're looking to just bump up his yearly pay, his guaranteed money for the next 2 years, say. So why is so many people pushing the theory? And we've talked about what is Haason Reddick's trade value. And I said I wouldn't trade him unless I got a second-round pick for him. Now I'm thinking, is a second-round pick even worth it for trading Haason Reddick? You are all in as the Philadelphia Eagles, as Howie Roseman. You are putting one of the best rosters on the field. You've gone out and got new coordinators. You're solving problems. You're making this team elite, but you're going to let one of your elite players walk over a $5 million difference? To me, that makes no sense. The rumors are the Eagles have offered 20 to 22 million. He wants 25 million. Dude, we're talking a difference of $5 million maximum. Get it done. Not my place to call your quarterback overrated. I don't think national media gives him enough to do. Well, yeah, it was like listening to Tad Prescott talk about his favorite quarterbacks, and the guy, it's like, well, where's Jalen Hurts on your list? He's like, you asked about quarterbacks, not running backs. Tad. That was a tad over the top there, Prescott. Marshall, I would have zero surprise on that. Reddick is based on if we can offload Sweat. We are really deep. No, I disagree. Well, no, hold on a second. I don't disagree with that we're deep at defensive end. There's a huge difference between Haason Reddick and Josh Sweat. I would rather take a 5th-round pick for Josh Sweat than a 3rd-round pick for Haason Reddick, because I'd rather Haason Reddick be on this team. There's a severe drop-off from Reddick to Sweat in quality, in talent. So, you don't, keeping Sweat, he restructured his deal. He's cheaper. Maybe it makes him more tradable. But Haason Reddick should not be linked to Josh Sweat in the decision-making. You keep Reddick whether you offload Sweat or not, then you deal with the Sweat thing whenever. Maybe Josh Sweat turns into a Derek Barnett type where he's traded mid-season. Like Derek Barnett won it gone last year. We weren't able to make it done. He renegotiated his deal before the season last year to make it cheaper, and he stayed. And then 4, 5, 6 weeks into the season, got offloaded to what? Tennessee or Houston or whatever. You might see a similar scenario play out with Josh Sweat. He's not going to get the snaps he wants, but he's going to do his part. He's going to be a professional and hopefully get traded to another team later on. Reddick not having a good staff performance review. No, I don't know about that. When mid-teams like Giants and Titans inflate market for a star over a good team, ruin it for everyone. Brian Burns inflated a lot of people's egos. Calvin Ridley did as well. We're not deep at defensive end if Reddick is gone. In fact, we have a massive hole. You cannot go into the season with Sweat, Smith, and Huff and think you are a Super Bowl contending defense. Reddick, Huff, and Smith, big difference. You pick Reddick, Huff, and anybody else, you're deep. If you take Reddick out, put Sweat in, Sweat, Huff, and anybody else, you're not as deep. And I know, I said at the beginning, before anybody joined the chat, that you could go get Chop Robinson at 22 or whatever. That's not going to be the same as having Haason Reddick, a top 5 edge rusher in football, on your team for the next 2 years. I know. To me, that's just got question mark written all over it. Latu. Is that how you say it? Latu. Isn't he injury prone? Doesn't he have a major injury red flag on him? I don't need to replace Haason Reddick with a major red flag. To me, that's not it. And Chop Robinson's not the answer either. Well, I mean, Chop Robinson is a very strong prospect for the edge. But again, ain't no Haason Reddick, at least not yet. Josh Sweat is mid. A lot of Eagles fans overrated him. Going into last year, people thought he was not a mid. Thought he was a stud. He proved that we overvalued him a little bit. Hello, Phil McFly. No one wants Sweat. I am a Nolan Smith, a truther. I haven't given up on Nolan Smith. But you can't go into the season with Sweat and Smith and Huff as your edge when you could have Haason Reddick for $5 million. More than you're willing to bet. You're trying to win a Super Bowl in 2024. The Super Bowl is there. It's reachable. It's attainable. You have gone all in. So you just keep pushing. You get every possible aspect of this team. All right, you know what? I'm just going to say it. You make it the dream team, the gold standard, all those terrible cliches that backfire. You do that. Letting Haason Reddick go for a third-round pick would be the biggest mistake of the 2024 offseason and season. Kool-Aid hurt a lot. I remembered to pass that along. Kool-Aid McKinsky or whatever. I say it wrong, I guess. Nolan Smith, denier. We got a truther. We got a denier. Maybe Jarrett Verse falls to us. That name does not ring a bell because I probably haven't seen him available when I've run mock drafts as tests. K1. Look, no rookie defensive end is going to come in at 22 and fill a void left by Haason Reddick if you let him walk. It's just not going to happen. Haason Reddick's got to get the job done. Or Howie Roseman's got to get the job done and get Haason Reddick signed. It's got to be his top priority. That and getting Patrick Surtain here. I think I've mentioned Patrick Surtain's name now, what, 4 times today? 5 times today? Just going to try to keep up in my Patrick Surtain. I am mentally willing it to happen. Can't handle the truth. That's right. You can't handle the truth. I guess that was bad. Jarrett Verse is that guy, not a guy, that guy. Okay, maybe. I'm going to write him down. I guess it's a name that's always off the board when I run these mocks, so I only keep looking at the guys that are available. Florida State stud. Okay. I'm not a Florida State fan. Tend to hate people. I just got this bitter, deep down hatred for them. I don't even know why. Well, I do. I'm just not going to say it. But I still don't feel like you're going all in if you move on from Haason Reddick. Of course I'm pro Reddick. I was talking to Haason Reddick on the Eagles Nitro 2 years before he got to Philly. I've been wanting Haason Reddick here for a long time. And I want a Super Bowl. I want to be able to hoist the trophy for a second time. You've done 90% of the stuff you need to do to go all in. Just push those last 3 big blinds into the pot. Chip in a chair. You've got 3 big blinds left. 2 big blinds left. You don't need them. You're trying to win the tournament. You're trying to win it all. Getting rid of Haason Reddick, I really feel like, could massively backfire if they do it. Especially if all you're doing is getting a 3rd or so pick. Right now, the rumor is that only Atlanta is really, truly interested in trading for him. That means to me that a lot of teams think that if they don't get a deal done, he will just be cut, and then they could just pick him up for anything. Like, to me, the trade market's not what everybody thought it would be for him. And I always said, I the market would never be what people think it would be. On the flip side, I am not trading him for what the market is dictating. Like, could you imagine them trading Haason Reddick for just a third round pick when you're just $5 million difference in price? Seriously. Listen to right foot creep and gritty around the office. What? I would appreciate it if you addressed me as Colonel. Colonel what? Colonel TMZ? I don't know. I don't know about that. I think I've earned it. You want to be the Colonel. I'm the Colonel. I'm Colonel John Hamilton. You could be Sergeant B.A. Baracus, okay? Now, actually, you're more howling mad Murdoch because you're howling mad in the comments all the time. Let's see. Marshawn would be Templeton Peck, the face man, the con artist, because he's always saying stupid stuff to trigger me. And K1, you could be B.A. Baracus because you do have a bad attitude because of the Flyers. So, yeah, that's where we'll go. You're not the Colonel, though, TMZ. Definitely not the Colonel. At best, you're howling mad, not howling mad Murdoch, howling mad comments. There. See, I just went whole A-team on you guys for a second right there. Showing my real weird dorkiness to a T right there. It really could go down as one of the biggest blunders of Howie's career. If he literally can. Now, I'm saying I'm not trading him, Haason Reddick. But if a second round pick is on the table, do you reconsider it? You didn't get the reference. I'm a huge 80s cheesy TV show fan. The A-Team being the best of them all. Knight Rider, MacGyver, love them. My first dog was named Colonel Decker, the Army guy that chased the A-Team around. I'm a huge A-Team guy. I think time for NFL football is more of a. Would he be a Colonel Lynch? Not Decker, Lynch, or would he be more of a Fulbright because he likes the UFL and Fulbright was only around for like 3 episodes? See, I got deep knowledge of the A-Team. I know every Army guy that chased them around. Fulbright, Lynch, Decker. I got them all. Okay. Nitro knows what I'm joking about here. Nitro's got it. But would you consider the Reddick trade a mistake if it was a second round pick? It's still taking away from you being all in. And I can't get off of this. I'm looking still at my notes here. I've got these Super Bowl odds here. And I'm still looking at them. And you think about it, the 6 teams ranked ahead of them. The 49ers. Are the Eagles better right now than the 49ers? I think they're on par. Are they better than the Chiefs? Probably not. Are they better than Ravens? Maybe on par. They're better than the Bills on paper right now. They're better than the Lions on paper right now. They're better than the Bengals on paper right now. Now, on paper doesn't win you a Super Bowl, but let's say there's really legitly 2 to 3 teams better than the Eagles or on the same level, one being the 49ers. So at a minimum, you're all in and you're competing with the 49ers for the NFC Championship at this moment. So why make a trade and get rid of one of if you had to rank the top 10 Eagles players skill set right now, Haason Reddick would be a top 5 Eagle. Why would you get rid of one of your 5 best players for a draft pick? Hell yeah, I know. I know you get you know who I'm talking about with General Fulbright. Or we can go General Stockwell. How about that? Season 5, Frankie Dishpan Santana and General Stockwell. Trial by fire. If you know, you know. A second rounder would be a steal. So a second rounder would be a steal, but a third's not enough. That's the problem. Nobody's offering a second round pick right now. And you're $5 million apart with him. Just get it done. A Reddick trade will be a mistake for anything less than a second or a second with a 6. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to happen. And I've been saying that since day one. Nobody's given the Eagles more than a third round pick. And that might even be pushing it, honestly, at this point. The league knows what's going on, that they're in a stalemate dollar-wise. a bit of the fool. A second round give you seriously good young talent at cheap prices. Yeah, absolutely. And then you would have 3 second round picks. You already got 50 and 53 or 54 or whatever. But you're going to have to hit on those picks because you're not replacing Reddick with Sweat. You're replacing him with Huff, and you still got Sweat there. But I'm just sitting here thinking that there's no reason to move on from Stockwell. I love when he basically tells them that he owns them now. Yeah, they had to mix it up for season. They had to mix it up for season 5. Moved them to Virginia to Langley. Trying to think of some of that. There's some interesting episodes in that season 5. But Dishpan, Frankie Santana. I never watched MASH, but I noticed they have a guy that looks like Costanza. Good morning, No Pro Sports. What is happening this morning? Are you talking about Radar O'Reilly? I was never a MASH fan. I don't know. You must have missed yesterday's show or all week. I did this on Sunday, but thank you. Hair's cut, beard's trimmed up, glasses are on. I'm a new, mature, edgier Phil Stiefel now. Okay. I don't know if anybody's picking up on that. Are we talking about Langley? We're talking about the A-team. Season 5. They moved from California to Virginia. It's the same situation with Sweat. Give him time to shop around. He doesn't like it. Come restructure with us. Well, he already restructured Sweat. Okay. And his number came down. Hey, they're saying the right things. He wants to stay an Eagle, etc. I said it. I think the Josh Sweat situation is going to be similar to the Derek Barnett situation, where he will probably be on the trade market from now right through to the trade deadline in the middle of the season. But if they don't get a deal they like, they'll just keep him because they've brought his cap number down dramatically this year. Reddick is a different level. Sweat's here. Reddick's up here. Reddick's off the charts good. You've got to weigh the pros and cons of keeping him, trading him, the return, everything. You're trying to win a Super Bowl in 2024. Reddick gives you a better chance than without him. And I don't think it's even close. Mature, debatable. Yeah. I am not mature. Nobody's ever called me that. Shout out to Radar O'Reilly. Okay. Will Jordan Davis put in the work this offseason? Stop eating all them Twinkies and donuts. See, I think this is a very off-base comment, HC, and I love you, and I appreciate the comment. Jordan Davis in 2023 came in shape. Jordan Davis, people forget because he had such a bad end to the season. The entire defense stunk, though. Okay? The first half of that season, we were talking on this very show about how Jordan Davis was turning a corner. He was really good the first 3, 4, 5 weeks of the year. He played well. He was in shape. He did not maintain the shape throughout the entire season. He winded himself chasing down Josh Allen. If he just never did that, he might have had a better season. Jordan Davis put in the work. He just didn't put in the work to maintain it. Now that's the next step of evolution. I am not giving up on Jordan Davis. I still think Jordan Davis can be a beast and will be a beast. He just needs somebody to help him be more mature, to stay in better shape throughout the season versus coming into shape. The A-team pre-cancel culture, quitting Rampage Jackson. That was the movie version, Rampage Jackson. The movie was extremely awful. It had so much hype with Bradley Cooper and Liam Neeson. Great cast. Charlito Copley, Jessica Biel. Great cast. But it was just it had nothing to do with the A-team. It really didn't. Who's your top list A-team pick? What? Well, it was right in order. John Hannibal Smith, Templeton Peck, Howie Mad Murdoch, B.A. Baracus. Sweat restructured was just to lower his cost to other teams to get him and give him a new contract at $10 million. Yeah, it was making him more attractive in a trade for sure. Sorry, I missed the last few shows. With all the moves we made, what do you think Howie does in round 1? Well, I'm hoping he trades pick round 1 for Patrick Surtain. That's mentioned number 7 of him today. That is my goal. You're all in. This whole show is about Reddick, but it really truly is about how Howie Roseman is all in. That's all that matters. He is all in. That is so disrespectful. Jordan Davis is not a fan of Twinkies. Man, let's not make fun of a man's weight. Davis' problem wasn't being out of shape. You just can't have a defense on the field that amount of time. Yeah, there was one game last year. I forget what it was. It might have been the Bills game where he only played like 48% of snaps, but it was still like 50 snaps. Like there were games last year where our defense was on the field for 80, 90, 95 snaps. The entire defense was a train wreck. Jordan Davis is taking probably the second most blame for our defense behind James Bradbury being banned, when really it was just a complete and total system failure. The A-Team script movie was just a bit. So I talk to people. If you know nothing about the A-Team and you watch the movie, yeah, it's a good action shoot 'em up movie. But if you're a fan of the A-Team, you hated the movie. And me and my brother were waiting our entire childhood for an A-Team movie to happen. And it finally happened. And we see the cast, we're like, oh my God, this is going to be so good. And they wanted to turn it into a whole A-Team universe of movies and spin-offs, and they just never did. It was so bad. The flying of a tank just took A-Team stuff too far. Terrible. Terrible. Davis can hire a nutritionist to prepare his meals instead of eating the entire menu of Phil's Pizza Shop for breakfast. Dude, if he came in and ordered my entire menu, I would sell it to him. Even though it would have detrimental effects on the Eagles season, if he wants to pay for it, I'm going to give it to him. Has the most double teams? Absolutely. Jordan Davis is never going to show up in the stat sheets. He's never going to show up and have 10 sacks or 90 tackles or 15 tackles. He's never going to do that. Jordan Davis is a guy that sets the tone for everybody else by taking those double teams, by clogging up the middle, for giving whoever's playing linebacker and Devin White, a chance to stop a runner in the backfield. That's what Jordan Davis does. Clears space for Jalen Carter to get one-on-one against a lineman. That is what Jordan Davis' job is. So he's never going to show up in the stat sheet. I have not given up. A lot of people have given up on Jordan Davis. I would say, and this is interesting, I'm going to write this down. Most confident, Jordan Davis. I'm writing this down. Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean. I hope I remember this. Most faith. Guys that Eagles that people are down on, that I still have the most faith in succeeding. Nakobe Dean, Reed Blankenship, Jordan Davis, James Bradbury. Offensively speaking, maybe Dallas Scott or Jalen Hurts. I have the most confidence in Jordan Davis still, especially on defense. Still ascending to higher heights. Our defense couldn't stop third downs to save their life last year. Exactly. And if you can't get off the field on third down, that's when those snap counts start going up. That's when your guys get winded. That's when trouble starts. I don't even know Dukes of Hazzards, but I tried to watch the movie. Dude, that movie too. I love Sean William Scott in comedies and Johnny Knoxville, whatever. That was not a good movie. Not at all. No cap, Howie. He's for real. No cap exists. I thought you were making like a slang, like no cap. Isn't that like slang kids use today? I'm trying to think of what that means. I read it. For real, no cap. The cap does not exist. He finds a way. So go get the Reddick deal done. Go get Patrick Surtain and give him extension. Have the best defense in the league and put your offense that you've just spent boatloads of money on for Saquon Barkley. Just go out and dominate everybody. I tried because 08 Jessica Simpson. Whatever happened to her? Where'd she go in life? We've talked more about the A-Team this morning than we've talked about the Flyers all season. I disagree with that, K1. I have talked about. Maybe you've missed it. You don't watch Open to Close every show. I've talked Flyers a lot more than you. I brought in Bill Matz. I brought in other people. to talk Flyers. You just missed them. Just saying. Hell yeah, Davis wants to buy the whole menu anywhere. What idiot business guy says not to a few hundred? Exactly. I would be like, done. Cash or credit, good. Why not? I'd lock the doors for him so I can make him everything. How does everyone forget that Davis only just finished the second? I mean, do I have to say anything else about Jordan Davis? I mean, he is literally only in his second year. He just finished. There's been at least 2 more references to Radar Riley than Ilya Samsonov. Are you surprised I know how to pronounce that name for some reason? Did I say Samsonov better than Bazunut? I shouted you out like 3 times last night, K1, on Fairway to Heaven. You weren't watching. It's okay. Because I was talking a lot of Bazunut. The world hates our Eagles team because of Howie Magic. NFL TV even stopped talking about our free agents after Barkley, even when we signed CJ and Devin White. Yeah, I don't care if they hate us. Doesn't bother me. Let them hate. Davis is a gap eater, and purpose is to funnel the play to our other players. Without a doubt. 100%. Translate equals no cap equals I am not lying. No deception is detected. So thank you for slang translator 101. My kids say cap all the time. I don't know what annoys me more, when kids say cap or bet. Like when a kid says cap to me, I'm like, oh, we want to talk salary cap of football or basketball? Awesome. But that's not what they want to talk about. When they say bet, I'm like, oh, you want to talk about who we're betting on tonight's or this week's Valspar championship? And they're like, no. Like, cap means salary cap or a cap you put on a bottle. Bet means you place a bet, a wager. I hate. I know it makes me sound so old and curmudgeon. I hate new cool lingo that kids use these days. Where the hell does this come from? Influencers on social media using words to change things up, and then people start. I hate it. I hate it. Howie is for real. No cap. Yeah, exactly. I missed fairway. Yeah. So who did I bet for the Valspar? I'm going for the Grim Reaper, Doug Gim, 40-1. That's my pick to win the Valspar championship. Get in on the Gim train before it falls off the tracks. Just saying. All right, K1. Wasn't sold on Devin White, but his press conference might make me buy in that he could be good. Edrin Cooper for sure. Devin White, I think there's a lot of overreactions on both sides of the equation to Devin White. I think the best realistic thing you could say about Devin White is Devin White is better than anybody that played linebacker for the Eagles in 2023. Is he a great linebacker? No. Is he good? Possibly. But he's better than Nicholas Morrow. He's better than Ben Van Summer. He's better than Shaq Leonard. He's better than a lot of guys. He's a former All-Pro. He's only 26 years old. Maybe here he has a resurgence. Maybe not. Maybe he just plays average. But average with Edrin Cooper and Nakobe Dean, now you're talking about a linebacker room. At a bare minimum, he's going to be okay. Maybe you get some really good play out of him. But he's a placeholder for whoever we draft, Cooper, Trotter, whoever, and a placeholder to help the development of Nakobe Dean. I like it. I don't know why either people think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, or people say he's just dog trash because analytics PFF say he's the worst. No, he's better than Nicholas Morrow. He's better than the guys we don't have to see Christian Ellis anymore because of Devin White. Take the pizza out of the oven. What? Devin White was a nice patch free agent for us, so there isn't much there to talk about. Barkley owned the headlines for 2 whole days, so I don't know what you're writing about there. There's a lot of people that are down on the Devin White thing. because PFF analytics and whatnot say he grades out poorly here and there and stuff like that. People pick and choose their stats however they want. Me, I just go on gut and feel for the most part. And I know Devin White, we are better than we were before. There is zero doubt we are better with him than without him. Plain and simple. But we're also better with Haason Reddick on our team than without him on our team. Guys, you're watching Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe, retweet button. Wherever you're watching, we've had a lot of Twitter comments earlier in the show. You can comment on Twitter as well. I don't know how many likes are on YouTube right now, but I'm sure it's not enough. So make sure you hit that. There's 18 people on YouTube watching right now. Actually, 20. I guarantee we don't have 20 likes, so make sure you hit that like button, that share button, that subscribe button, that follow button, wherever you are. I am Phil Stiefel. Follow me at Beard of Knowledge. Lots of big things happening in the future, so make sure you're following me. It's the only place to find out. And we continue on. We're talking to Haason Reddick. Why I just say give him the deal. Give him whatever he wants. If anybody wants to talk Sixers here in the final 30 minutes, huge West Coast trip starts tonight. I will not be watching much of these games because I can't stay up that late and survive. But huge West Coast trip that might put the nail in the coffin or save the season. We will see in a week how we are. That is on the table. We are 8 days away from opening day. March Madness kicks off tomorrow. Everything, even the Flyers. Give me something Flyers related in the comment, and I will address it. Everything's on the table, including the 18. Do it or you're fired. Bet. Oh, so we're going to say bet. Phil sound like the don't be like your parents guy from the – yeah. That is me. The one where when he has to grunt every time he stands up, that's me from those commercials, okay? I've totally turned into my parents. I've totally turned into my father. Hell, I even got nifty glasses just like him. My receding hairline is getting much like his was at this age as well. So I've totally turned into my father. I like to be alone. I like to watch TV, and I like to drink beer. I am totally like him. Did you ever get a chance to check out linebacker safety Isaiah Simmons? I have not. I'm sorry. His name is still on here, and I've got new names written on here. My life has been a total whirlwind of busyness at the shop lately. The amount of research I'm doing for shows during the day at work has just gone down dramatically lately. So I'm really just winging it most of the time. But we still do need another linebacker safety on this team. So if you like Isaiah Simmons, I can get behind it. But it still doesn't solve the problem of keeping Haason Reddick. I'm keeping Haason Reddick without a shadow of a doubt. He is staying in midnight green. We are a better team. We are a better Super Bowl contender with him than without him. But all the other things are ancillary. Kids say true, which means right, but means bet me on your words. I was one of those kids. Hold on. Kids say true, which means right, but means bet me on your word. That just I just got a headache reading that twice. Total headache reading that twice. We do need cornerbacks, and I brought it up. Patrick Surtain is there. Go get Patrick Surtain. Forget pick 22. Forget Kool-Aid. Forget whoever. Give me Surtain. Keep Reddick. Bet. We're done. See, I used I don't know if I used it right, but I put it in there. Nolan Smith is like, damn, I'm going to be benched again. Nolan Smith ain't getting benched. Nolan Smith's role will go up in 2024. Guarantee it. I don't know if he's going to be good. I don't know if he's going to be a bust. I'm still in wait-and-see mode. And if Howie wouldn't have gone out and spent big money on Saquon Barkley and big money on Bryce Huff and big money on Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and given me this image that he is all in, I'd be all for trading Haason Reddick and letting Nolan Smith cook for a year. See, I use lingo. Cook for a year. I think that's kid lingo, too. See, I could sneak it in sometimes. But you're all in. We're not worried about 3-4 years from now. We're trying to win a Super Bowl in 2024. Howie's told us he's trying to win a Super Bowl in 2024. So how do you do that? You don't worry about developing the young. You keep the greats. And Haason Reddick is a great. I don't mind the White signing. Guys on one-year deals are always trying to ball out to get paid the next year. 1-year deals aren't always a bad thing. I love 1-year deals. I love guys on 1-year prove it deals. I really do. But we are trying to win a Super Bowl. But Devin White knows that this team's trying to win a Super Bowl. The linebacker market this offseason really turned into like the running back market of the last few years. I mean, there was a point a couple months ago, people were talking about Patrick Queen, top free agent, was going to get like $80 million or whatever. He signed a $40 million contract for 3 years. Clearly the best linebacker that's been on the market for a long time. He got $40 million, 3-year deal. The linebacker market has crashed and burned. I'm a Nolan Smith, a denier. Well, you're a denier, period. Devontae Smith getting extended today? No. Unless you hear a rumor that I don't hear. I think that I don't think it happens till camp or closer to camp. I think free agency has to finish. The draft has to finish. Post June 1st have to finish. There's no rush to get it done. It will get done. It's just, in my opinion, I just don't see it happening soon. Laughing, it made sense to me. I see. Why you say that, Mitch? I don't know. Phil, remember when we used to say true dat? I used to say it with a D. True dat. The kids are too lazy to say that, so they say true. Everything they say is just taking words and cutting letters off because they're too lazy to say complete words. It drives me nuts. Drives me nuts. What's your starting D lineup would look? I would want Huff, Carter, Davis, Milton. Linebackers, Haason, Dean, White. So I'm starting Carter, Davis, Huff, and Reddick right now. Those 5 down. I kind of put there. Then Dean and White as your linebackers. You really start 2 linebackers, really. It's really a 5-2 defense. If you want to call it a 3-4, you can, but it's really, so you got Huff, Davis, Carter, Reddick. Then you got White and Dean. Then you got your 2 safeties. Right now, Reed and Chauncey. Right now, still Slay and Bradbury. And right now, Isaiah Rodgers is your starting cornerback, your slot corner. That's your guys, in my opinion. That's your starting lineup right now. BG and Sweat, just a weird fit in a 3-4. That is true. Brandon Graham, though, you got to keep that, veteran presence there still. It's a log jam. You don't spend a first-round pick on Smith if you don't plan on giving him reps. If he doesn't develop, his cheap contract doesn't mean shit. Yeah, I get that. That's why I'm moving on from Sweat if I have to at some point. But Howie Roseman is all in on this season. He has proven that he wants that title this year by giving Barkley that money, by giving Huff that money, by giving Chauncey that money. So you don't move Reddick to see if Nolan Smith can develop. Now, if you want to move Sweat and put Smith behind Huff, that's fine. Right now, Huff is still technically a backup on this team. Sweat and Reddick technically on the depth chart of the starters. I don't know. I say you keep Reddick. You try to move Sweat. And if not, you just go with a really deep line. You rotate those guys. You keep them fresh. So, because that's what matters. Keep them fresh come playoff time. I'd rather trade Sweat, but one has to go. At this point today, March 20th at 9:10 a.m., I am not trading Haason Reddick at all. I'm giving into his demands. If you are $3 to $5 million a year apart, you get the job done. You get the deal done. You don't move them. Sweat, I said it, William. You must be just jumping in now. I said it early. Sweat, I think, will have the offseason and season trajectory of Derek Barnett. Derek Barnett did a very similar thing, renegotiated his deal before the season to bring the number down to make him more tradable. He wanted to get traded in camp. It didn't happen. By the deadline, they found a place for him to go. And he just was a professional up to that point. That's what I see happening with Josh Sweat. Maybe they move him by camp. The renegotiation makes him more movable. If they don't get it by camp, they'll wait to see if somebody gets injured and needs an end. To me, that is the scenario with Josh Sweat. By the deadline, he will be moved, and that's when Nolan Smith's reps can go up. But till then, Sweat and Smith we'll share reps. This show hits different. What did I do? Oh, that's one of the. It hits different. Nobody's hitting anybody. When you say it hits, I hit differently with these. I see. It took me a second to register. Word. That's right. Word. Yeah. Isn't that what you do? I don't know. Kids these days are little punks. I tell you. I know. I know. Phil hitting hard today. Yeah, something like that. Why the hell are we moving Sweat? I don't know. Because he wants to. I don't know. I mean, I'm okay keeping them all. Have a great depth. When we won in 2017, why did we win the Super Bowl? Because our defensive line had one of the greatest rotations there ever was. There were so many guys that could come in and out at any moment, and everybody was fresh. Everybody was healthy. Yeah, the linebacker market is really just like crash and burn. It's turning into running backs in 2024 where people just don't want to pay them. And I'm not sure why. Linebackers are important still in this game. I'm worried more about our offensive line without any new big shots. Our center and right guard is questionable. Yeah, I'm more worried about our offensive line. It's funny. Jack Driscoll just signed with the Dolphins, I believe. Last year, I was saying I didn't think he would make the 53-man roster, and I thought he was expendable. This year, I think he's going to be a big loss because he's a guy that knows the system, knows Statland, and can play 4 different positions on the offensive line. Hennessy kind of filling in that role. I'm semi-confident. I would say I'm leaning towards B-level confidence in Cam Jurgens at center. I'm still in that C plus range on Tyler Steen. I still think if they don't trade for Patrick Surtain, 2020, the 22 pick could be whoever the best offensive lineman is in the draft at that point. I still think right now, if I had to say our biggest weakness on our team, it's depth on offensive line. We're going to do that. That's another one for tomorrow. Biggest weakness. Eagles. That's going to be a poll after this show. For sure. That's why you follow me at Beard of Knowledge. Center and right guard. Yeah. Oh, I got what you meant. I understood what you meant. Sometimes I can translate comments pretty well. This show has turned into the get off my lawn show. Something like that. Beef jerky will be great as center. I saw somebody doing like a highlight reel of some of his preseason games at center and a couple clips of him. And I kind of really made me feel a little bit more comfortable. Mike, unless something happened while the show started, no. We're talking about why we shouldn't be trading. I know I titled it, Will he be an Eagle? We are not. Me and a majority in the comments today think it is not worth trading him for what his market is dictating right now. That is what the goal of this show is. It's not worth trading him for a 3rd-round pick. If you're $5 million or less apart, Howie needs to get the deal signed and keep him for the next couple of years. But there are a few that think it's better to trade him, get that draft pick, and bump Nolan Smith up. Me, I'm trying to win a Super Bowl in 2024. I'll worry about 25 in 2025. Me, I'm a year-to-year guy. Why kids these days no spell out word, Joe? Yeah, exactly. Depends on your D, on the D, you're running, how important safeties or linebackers are. That is true. That is very true. Don't be play a hating. Yeah. Hey, okay, 2001. Phil writing notes he won't find tomorrow. There's a chance. There is a chance. I got a long day at work today ahead of me. You never know. Getting jiggy with it. Nah. Come on. I was a huge. I loved the post Men in Black Will Smith resurgence. Come on now. Phil Rinder. You know what I saw? I was listening to the XM yesterday, and Gangster's Paradise from Coolio came on. It was on 90s on 9. So the year came out in 95. I was like, damn, I was 14 when that song came out. Before I turned 15 that year. Oh my God, I felt so old. That song's still a banger today. See, there's some lingo, a banger. No point in moving Sweat or Reddick if the compensation isn't great. Keep them, then let them walk in free agency next year. Well, there's a difference between you can let Josh Sweat walk. Haason Reddick's a different level. You can't just let him walk. Josh Sweat might play on his 1 year. He would play on it. That's why he renegotiated. Haason Reddick, if you don't get a deal done or trade him, he ain't showing up to camp. He ain't showing up to OTAs. He ain't showing up, period. He will hold out. Haason Reddick, if a deal isn't made. And I hate holdouts. Not because they're not justified. I hate the distraction that holdouts cause. And you see a reason why Howie very rarely has ever had anybody holding out. Because he knows it's a distraction. He doesn't want the distraction. Get Joe Alt and move Dickerson to center. Wow, that's a brick wall. Yeah, I get the Dickerson center. He was the original replacement for Kelce. But Landon Dickerson has become the best left guard in football. Why get rid of the best left guard in football? To make him one of the best centers in football. Just leave him at left guard. That, to me, is the smarter move. On my day, Phil looks like the guy who will tell me about the damn Lyndon Johnson. I think I understand what you're saying, but it wasn't very clear. They should use the first round pick to draft a guard tackle that could slot into right guard immediately and eventually move to. Yeah, I mean, William, that's probably the best big picture course of action. Still want Patrick Surtain, but that's another subject. I think I'm now up to 12 Patrick Surtain references today in 76 minutes of this show. But it probably is a smart way to go. He kind of looked like he collects antiques. I do not collect anything. I throw stuff out. Phil Notebook as the life secrets. Don't make me make you live. Yeah, that's right. I mean, it was only a couple months ago, right? Song is still a banger. Good Gangster's Paradise, man. Still a banger. And it was a great movie, too. Dangerous Minds with, drawing a blank on her name. The actress. Oh, why can't I think of her name? I'm going to kick myself in the butt. I actually just watched it recently. I'm 23 now, but I will live to see 24. The way things are going, I don't know. Still hits. I like to translate music from what the singers or artists make them to mean to what they mean to me. And that song means a lot more difference to me because obviously I'm not living on the streets or selling drugs or anything. But man, there's a lot of meaning in that song. There is. To this day, I will roll to Regulators. That's right. That's right. I'm dropping Reddick like he's hot. Yeah, no, not doing it. Coolio died. Yeah, like I want to say October or November, maybe. It was last year sometime for sure. Can you survive on pizza for a month? Only pizza on a deserted island? Yeah. I mean, I already survive on pizza almost every day. Owning a pizza shop, and we used to sell slices, and then COVID hit, so we stopped selling slices. And we're not in a huge traffic shopping center. But then a UPS store opened up right next door to me, and there's a lot of walk-by traffic now. So I brought slices back. Having a sliced pie sitting there is the worst thing as a pizza shop owner because you just got a little tingle for hunger. Oh, there's a slice. I'll just have another slice. Another slice. Next thing you know, you've eaten 5 slices of pizza. They're just sitting there staring you in the face. He did, yeah. I'm 23 now. Will I leave to see the way things are going? I don't know. Phil is strictly carnivore. I like my pizza. It's a rough nose more sports. Yeah. Michelle Pfeiffer. That's who. Yeah, damn it. I didn't even need her last name. I just needed her first name. There it is. Michelle Pfeiffer. Yeah. Look, it was great movie before its time. The song still hits. The movie still resonates in today's, world. Man, there is vegetables in pizza. There's tomatoes on it. She was, yeah, for sure. Desert islands have only pineapple. I would die in a heartbeat. No, I would eat it if I had to. I would eat anything to survive. All about survival of the fittest. Finished my coffee with 10 minutes to spare today. All right, we didn't get no Justin Crosby today. No Sixers talk today, but, it's there. Sixers tonight. Let's see here. It's the Suns tonight at 10 o'clock. Then the Lakers, then the Clippers, then the Kings. 4 tough West Coast games. I doubt they can go 2-2. Hopefully they can go 1-3. They could go 0-4. They go 0-4. You might not be talking about Joel Embiid coming back anymore. I just want to see an update today. We are still in the 6th seed. A half game up on the Pacers now. Still 2.5 back of the Magic in the 5 seed. All right. Just wanted to get a little Sixers glance. Pineapple pizza is goated. Eh, I hate it, but I have no problem selling it. And I sell a lot of pineapple pizza because Kennett Square is a huge Mexican community in Kennett Square. And they love their ham and pineapple pizzas. The Hawaiian is one of my biggest sellers because of it. Jamon and piña when they call. Or instead of saying Hawaiian, they say Hawaiian. Mexican for Hawaii is Hawaii. So yeah, I sell a lot of it. And I'm not judgmental. If you got money, I'll make it. Okay. Apples, oranges, whatever. Who was Chick in original Batman? I was a fan. I don't know. Michelle Pfeiffer. That wasn't the original Batman. The Adam West was. 0-4 lottery, baby. All right. K1's hoping for the lottery pick. I mean, it wouldn't be the worst. I got us going 2-2. That's bold. That's like clickbait right there. I ain't paying Phil's prices, though. Inflation hit hard. My prices are fair. In fact, my prices are probably below market value at this point. You are the devil, just like that fake Hawaiian Canadian invented pizza. Yeah. Phil, pizza, expensive. Yeah, pizza's expensive. Pizza not what it used to be. When I first started working in the pizza business in like 94, 95, man, a $10 pizza would cost you 70 cents to make. That same $10 pizza is only $11 now. It cost me like $4 to make it. Cost of doing business gotten expensive, man. Very expensive. Plus payroll's higher. Everything's higher. Kim Basinger. Basinger? That's a reference to a TV show. But I don't remember what TV show I'm referencing. Basinger? I don't know. I'm making a reference to something, and I don't even know what I'm making a reference to. Backman chick was Alicia Silverstone. Alicia Silverstone. She was one. What happened to her? Her career really. She was the hot rising young star in Hollywood, and her career really tanked. She played Batgirl. The Batman's chick was Catwoman. You're a suspect. What are we talking about? Absolutely. We talked about LA Confidential a few weeks ago on this show. One of my favorite movies. The top 10 movie all time, in my opinion. It's so elite, and it does not get elite credit that it deserves at all. Phil, did you like Zoomer Batman the other day? I thought it was good. What? Zoomer Batman? I don't even know what Zoomer Batman means. Pizza happened to her, really. Okay. That was cringiest Batman ever. I don't even know what you're talking about. Zoomer Batman cringy? I don't know. I don't know. All right, we got to start the wrap up process here. 5 minutes left in the show, guys. We've really tried to nail down this Haason Reddick conversation. I think the majority are in agreement with me that keeping Haason Reddick outweighs the positives of moving Haason Reddick. I Am Vengeance. Horrible Batman movie. Are you talking about the Robert Pattinson Batman movie? I don't know which Batman movie we're talking about. I've only seen the new The Batman one time, and I was on vacation when I saw it, so I didn't really pay close attention to it. I used to be a super big Batman fan. I kind of got Batman fatigue. We've seen so many versions. Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, extremely underrated. George Clooney, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, Robert Patterson, back to George Clooney. Like, I'm Batmaned out. I'm almost there with Spider-Man. I'll never get there with Superman, but I'm almost Batmaned out. The cringiest Batman was Clooney. Yeah, nipple Batman was the worst. Yeah. I think George Clooney actually played a really, or could have, didn't, but could have played a really good Bruce Wayne. I really judge Batman by who's playing, by how they play Bruce Wayne. I think in theory, parts of the Ben Affleck Batman could have been played really well by George Clooney. He has the rich man look, but nipple Batman wasn't necessary. Batman is supposed to be the world's greatest detective. Robert Patterson. Batman was dumb. Yeah, like it was way too long too. Like way too long. Way too long. Latest Spider-Man movie doesn't even have Spider-Man in it. Yeah, I'm over. I think in general, I talked about this about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe when Infinity Wars came out, maybe when Dawn of Justice came out. I don't know. At some point, we're all going to hit a superhero movie fatigue. Kind of gotten there. They've just done so many, and they haven't been good. Some of them, like it's just complete and massive overload. The Marvel universe, while great at first, ruined superhero movies. Honestly, Clooney has the rich man look because he grew up in a rich family. Yeah, well, that helps, doesn't it? Madam Web, that's right. Supposedly that bombed at the box office. That's what I heard. Um, yeah, no intentions of watching it, none whatsoever. Why are we speaking? I don't know. I don't know. Everyone said it was just it was awful. From everything I've read, guys. All right, get those final comments in because we are wrapping this up. We are at exactly 420 views so far today, so I want to wrap it up at a solid 420 right there. Up, we hit 421. I guess not. Um, Eagles should keep Reddick. I watched 15 minutes and walked out of Madam Web. I've never ever walked out of a movie. Never, no matter how bad it is. Never. And if I pay for it on demand, I never stop. I finish it. Always. Cut to Spider Woman dressed in costume. Anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap it up right there. We're stopping. Done. No mas. Complete. Show over. You're watching Trending in the AM. Hit the like. Hit the share. Hit the subscribe. Retweet. Follow. Hit it all. Madam Web was 50 Shades of crappy acting. I remember seeing the first preview for it. Like, is that the 50 Shades girl? Yeah. Anyway, hanging from the ceiling and striking a pose. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Probably from the movie. Like, share, subscribe, retweet, follow. Follow me on Twitter at Bearded Knowledge. You don't want to miss out on things that I've got coming. You don't want to miss out on these polls and things I post on there. Make sure you're following me, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. Someone saying, what's up? As we're closing the show out, Keith decides to join in. Keith, you got to join early. 90 minutes is all I got. Can't do more than 90 minutes a day. But thank you for tuning in. Make sure everyone's hit that like button. Go back and catch it. We had a very strong discussion on Haason Reddick today. And tomorrow we might switch back to the offense with the offensive line with weaknesses. Got an interesting Phillies topic to talk about this week. Maybe save it for Friday. But I want to get into it's something that could push people. Phil never misses out on a good poll. I love polls. I'm polls. Yeah. I love to post those polls. Have a great day, guys. Trending in the AM, Philadelphia Sports Network. I am Phil Stiefel. Go Birds.